Okay, this example is going to demonstrate how to display and report point code information that was surveyed on cross-sections about a main alignment. So what I've got here on the screen is a surveyed alignment, cross-sections, and on each cross-section there is various point codes. And prior to doing the example, I've hooked up these point codes together so that they form break lines. And I've noted the features, the feature names for those break lines. And now I've created a new location, and my center line is my current alignment. And I'm now going to go through the process of setting up and reporting the point code information. So the first thing I do is I go into Location Setup, and I go to the Alignment tab, and I go into Features. And here I've got a list of slots where I can set up what's called reference features. Double click on the first one to activate it. Then I'll browse for a reference feature. I can choose from the list, or I can go directly into the advanced option here and enter the name of my feature and select it. And you can see I've got one feature line selected. So that's going to be my reference feature 1. I'll repeat this however many times I want for the features that I want to report. Second feature, here we'll call it RR SHR. Select. Again, one feature selected. And finally, I'll do one more. Feature 3, I go into Advanced, and I'll call this one RR Toe. Select that. One feature selected. So now I've got 3 reference features. And what I have to do is to get those reference features tied into the cross-section. And to do that, I'll return from this menu. I'll go to the Home tab, go into Templates. And I've got here set up a template which is available in our standard library. It's called Cross-Section Points. And it's made up of components, left and right. I'm only going to deal with the right side in this example, but obviously I can copy and paste this onto the left. I'll go into the properties for this component, and it's a special component for creating exactly what we're doing, point code offsets. So the first thing I tell it is the number of point codes that I want to include. The second thing is the surface which I want to work with. Typically this is topo. Then there's another sort of a cosmetic parameter, tick height. That's just showing ticks at where the feature lines are on the cross section. I could actually set that to 0 if I didn't want to display it. The next parameter, quite important, is to tie offset x1 to reference feature 1, which I just set up. Similarly, offset 2 is tied to reference feature 2, and then offset 3 is tied to reference feature 3. So I've got all those 3 set up, and I've told it there's 3 point codes, so my template is now going to create 3 point codes, one at center line by default, and then point codes 1, 2, 3 offset on the right hand side. And those point codes are tied to the reference features that I set up in module setup. So now that I have point codes, and by the way, for reporting purposes, you could change the names of those codes using the Codes tab here to something that makes more sense than PC1, PC2, PC3. So I'm going to assign that and apply that template to the entire road. And then I will go to my data reporting window here. I'll create a data reporting window. And I'm going to add those point codes into my data reporting. So let's choose all points. And I'll go scroll down here until I find template codes. And here I've got my PC codes that I've set up. So PC1, so that's PC10. Here's PC1, right? I'm going to add PC1 write horizontal offset, which is the horizontal offset to that point code. Also for PC1, I might choose to add the elevation. There's various other things that you can display here, coordinates, elevation. And I'm going to do exactly the same for PC2. I'm going to display a horizontal offset, elevation, and finally PC3, horizontal offset and elevation. So now I've got my point codes all in my data reporting. I'll just do a quick update. I'm also probably want to include the station here. So let's go back in and find in our L line category, we'll add L station. We'll shift it to the top. And yeah, point codes I'm displaying all. Obviously we could change this to other reporting intervals, fixed station, whatever you want for interval reporting. Pretty typical road edge stuff. I'll make that all. And there we go. Here's our report. It's showing the station and the point codes, offsets. And that is the end of this demo.